Hello unlimited friends, it's Zara back again with Q&A about the law of attraction and its application in practical ways to our lives. The question today is from Nicholas and it is about the Titanic. Why did the Titanic sink and why did so many people die? What was happening in that event at a vibrational law of attraction level? How can we explain this event through the lens of law of attraction? That is what we are here to talk about today. But before I get into it, I want to introduce myself just for 30 seconds. Hi to those of you who are new here. I am Zara Mahoon. I write the blog zmahoon.com and this is my virtual hot seat. So if you have a question about the law of attraction, do head over to my website zmahoon.com and send me an email from there or post your question in the comments below. I run many online programs to teach people how to create more abundance in their lives, to regain their health, to bring love into their lives, and I am the author of 18 books on the subject of law of attraction. All of them are available on Amazon, and if you're interested in group or individual coaching, send me a message and we'll set up a meeting to talk about it. Okay, I love this question. Nicholas, thank you so much. Now, Nicholas's one question had many questions in it. This is just one piece of it that I've taken out and I'm going to answer right here. What happens when there is a large event where there are many casualties? The Titanic is one example. So there are many concepts at play here. The very first concept is that matter, hard knock on wood matter, like the chair that I'm sitting on, like the ship, the Titanic, matter responds to vibration. Matter is vibration because matter is a particle form, whereas energy form is light, sound, and emotion. Emotion is energy form. Okay? So energy converts into matter, matter converts into energy, just like water converts to water vapor condenses back to water. It's a shift in the physical form of the same thing. So matter, hard knock on wood matter, it responds to energy. The vibration of your emotions is a form of energy. Thought, which creates emotion, is energy. So when we generate thought, when we think thought, we are generating energy. And that generation of energy happens through our emotions. So why did an accident take place with the Titanic? Was it avoidable? Absolutely, it was avoidable. However, all the people, or many of the people, most of the people who were on that voyage were in a similar band of vibration, and that band of vibration was the vibration of fear, the emotion of fear. And when fear has momentum, then fear dominates and brings about a corresponding manifestation. It is always exact, no exceptions. It is always an exact match. And so when a lot of people congregate in one place and they have a lot of momentum on fear, then it will result in a corresponding negative manifestation. Now, vibration does not have anything to do with subject, because people can feel fear because of many different subjects. There were some people on board the Titanic who were actually afraid of taking the voyage on this ship that had never been tested before. The owners of the ship, the insurance companies involved, the crew involved, they all had some level of fear about this voyage. On the other hand, there were passengers as well as crew members who were excited about this voyage. There were people who were excited and therefore high on the emotional scale, and there were people who were afraid and low on the emotional scale. The owners knew, the insurance companies knew that if something goes wrong, the losses are going to be colossal for them. And there were a lot of people who were really scared. See, here's the thing. There are always people who are afraid of being on a ship. Even these days, there are people who are afraid of being on a ship. And at the time when the Titanic happened, the options for crossing the Atlantic were very limited. Transatlantic flights, Delta Airways was not around. And so, if you wanted to cross the Atlantic, you had to take a ship. And there were people who were mortally afraid of being on a ship. So, first, people who were just afraid of being on the water on a ship, they did not trust the missing ingredient. They were asking, but not allowing, because trust was missing. They were afraid of being on any ship. And then there were those people who were specifically afraid of being on the Titanic. And then there were people who were not on the Titanic, but the Titanic was their biggest investment in life, who were also afraid about this voyage. And then on the voyage were people who were afraid because of other things. Some people were afraid of their business, some other business, not working out. Some people were afraid of their health. Some people were afraid because of their relationships. But the biggest passenger on the Titanic was fear. Fear. Yes, there was some excitement. Yes, there were some people high on the emotional scale, but they weren't high enough, and their being high on the emotional scale was not enough to counter the momentum of fear felt by the bigger part of the population that was on the Titanic. So if these people who were feeling fear had stopped right there, and if they had said, I should do something to shift my fear, let me go and find ways to be excited about being on this voyage. Let me appreciate this ship. Let me appreciate the fresh air of the ocean. Then they would have improved their vibration, gone up the emotional scale, and the accident would not have happened. But, how many people know how to do that? I certainly did not know how to do that for a very long time. I did not know. Until I came across the teachings of Abraham, I did not know how to shift my thoughts to go up the emotional scale. And so, people just didn't know any better. Had they known better, they wouldn't have stayed in a place of fear. So, this is the reason why the Titanic encountered an accident. If people had changed their feeling of fear, then it would not have happened. It would have been a safe voyage, a successful and safe voyage across the Atlantic. Now, out of the over 2,000 people who were on board or on the Titanic, actually 700 people were saved. Not everyone perished with the Titanic. And so here's the thing. Even in the midst of a very large calamity that affects a lot of people, there are those people whose vibration is higher and they escape. We've seen that happen. It happened at the Titanic. It also happened at 9/11. There were people who were not meant to be there who were there. There were people who were meant to be there and were not. And there were people who were saved. And so anything is possible based on vibration. Vibration, 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 vibration. And so here's another thing that I want to bring into this discussion is, why does this mass calamity that claims a lot of lives happen? All those people who make their transition because that decision was already made. Remember this one thing. Whatever happens in this 3D reality has already happened in non-physical beforehand. And so those people who stepped onto the Titanic, the decision of their transition had already been made. They were brought there in order to complete the decision that had already been made, the decision to transition. And the decision to transition does not have happened from the conscious mind, it happens from your inner being. But your inner being and your conscious mind are connected. And your conscious mind can prevent that decision from happening. So the inner being says, okay, had enough of this lifetime, would like to start again, wanting to make its transition, but the conscious mind has the ability to either give in to that decision or say, no, I am not done yet. There's more fun to be had. There's more to be done here. And that's when people come back. So it's always a decision that is made from the point of view of the inner being and soul, but the soul does not ignore what the mind is asking for, what your body is asking for. Because remember, there are 3 parts to our existence: the soul, the mind, and the body. And they're all connected, and every single one of them is there for us, for our enjoyment. Whose enjoyment? The inner being's enjoyment. The inner being is that part of source that is in the physical body. And the mind and the body are serving the inner being. And so what I want for people to understand, as Abraham says, is that all death is suicide. People make that decision from the part of them that is the soul part of them. And secondly, what I want to reiterate that Abraham keeps trying to help us to understand is the fact that making that transition, croaking, is not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. Because when you croak, you go back and become part of source, and you manifest all the things that you put in your vortex, because you become non-physical and your vortex is non-physical. So now you are one with your vortex. So those are some of the things that I wanted to say to Nicholas in response to his email. And I'm just going back to his email. So the sinking of the famous Titanic happened because everything is always an exact emotional vibrational match. Always exact. The universe never makes a mistake. And that's when we understand that, we have the ability to gain control of our thoughts and our emotions and start creating the type of life we want to live. And transition does not have to be a difficult experience. You're done, you go back and you start again. It literally is very much like playing a video game. Returning only to come back, only to play another game. All right, folks, and thank you to Nicholas for asking this question. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous question. Lots of moving pieces in this question, but I hope you enjoyed this little piece about the Titanic. If you have a question about the law of attraction, please leave it in the comments below and I will try and get to it as soon as possible. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe and click on that like button. And if you got to the end of this video, leave me with the word Titanic in the comments so that I know that you were here. Bye for now.